It's better to be the only choice for a few people than a forgettable option for many. I had a call recently with a client who was showing up every day online, posting, launching, tweaking her offers, tweaking her website, tweaking all of the things, and still freaking nothing. And not because she wasn't good. She's absolutely brilliant, but no one could see that. She built a brand that blended in. And the moment we repositioned her as the only option for a specific kind of client, she went from being ignored to in demand. Now, here's a brutal truth that most coaches, consultants, and service providers don't want to hear. And I'm sorry, not sorry. You don't have a content problem, you have a positioning problem. And it's costing you. I'm Deirdre Martin, triple certified award-winning international best-selling author. I help ambitious entrepreneurs find, win, and keep their ideal clients so they make their first 100K or their first million without burning out. Today, I'm showing you how to reposition your brilliance so that you're not the best kept secret in your industry. You're going to learn the one mental shift that changes how you position anything forever. A dead simple framework to clarify your value in 10 minutes or less, and how to become uncopyable even in the most saturated of spaces. So let's get you out of the shadows. Let's clear the decks. Let's move forward. Okay. I've got 3 points I'm going to go through with this in this episode. The first one is that most entrepreneurs describe what they do like it's a job title. For example, I help people improve their mindset, or I'm a business strategist. That's not positioning, that's a label. And labels are for soup cans. If I had a soup can, I'd be like, cue the soup can here for people who are watching. But positioning is a decision. It's actually a decision about how you want to be perceived. It's the strategic narrative that drives everything, your pricing, packaging, messaging, even your offers. When I asked my client, why should someone hire you over anyone else? And she said, because I care more. I thought, oh dear, that's so sweet. But it's not a strategy. So we flipped it. And now she says, I help high integrity founders double their recurring revenue without sacrificing their sanity. It's felt, it's focused, and best of all, it's a filter. So if your dream client landed on your LinkedIn or your website right now, would they say, holy shit, this is exactly what I need in like under 2 or 3 seconds? Because if not, your positioning is costing you leads. Make sense? Okay, point number 2. Most of your competitors sound the same. And actually, that's great for you. But it's also bad news because most of your clients can't tell the difference. They're comparing apples and apples. So your job is to become uncopyable. Your job is to become a freaking orange. And it's not to be the best, juiciest apple. It's to be different. It's to be an orange, right? So you need to be different and not better. So positioning starts with what's called the Onlyness Method. Now, this isn't my own unique method, gotta admit. It's Marty Neumeyer's, and Marty was one of my mentors when I did the Level C brand strategy course. This guy is like the OG of brand strategy. He worked with Steve Jobs before Apple was even a thing. So here's how the Onlyness Method works. Pull out your notes and fill this in with me as you listen. Get a pen and paper, take a note, right? So what you want to do is you want to write my, and then the program, product, service, offer, or framework that you have, and you want to name it. Okay, so my whatever, so my Millionize Mastermind, or my Business Accelerator program, or my Brand Story Breakthrough Workshop, right? Those are examples of things that I have. Is the only, that's the next bit, is the only type of solution. So the type of solution is the category. So the type of solution might be my Millionize Mastermind is the only high touch, hybrid, identity led. Okay. And yes, I could say program or mastermind or whatever. So it's the type of solution. That's what you want to put in there. So is the only, what is the type of solution? And it could be program, product, service, framework. Again, you get to name it, but that's your category. It's the category that you're in. Then you want to say for who. So specific type of person that it's for. And you want to name your ideal client here. So for coaches, consultants, or service providers, in my instance, for coaches, consultants, and service providers. And then the final part is that helps them what? And ideally, that's the specific outcome or benefit or result that they crave. So it's the specific, for me, in Million Eyes, it might be built specifically for those who want the mindset, message, and model of a 7-figure CEO, or for people who want to make their first million. That kind of thing, right? So once you've written it down, say it out loud. If it doesn't feel sharp, go back and tighten each line. Make it punch, make it polarizing, make it unforgettable. Here's an example. I'm going to give you an example of a health coach. My Burnout Breakthrough program is the only holistic vitality system for high-performing women in their 40s that helps them restore energy, balance hormones, and reclaim their spark without restrictive diets or 5 a.m. workouts. Bang! That's Onlyness. And here's why it works. It speaks directly to a psychographic, high-performing women. It speaks to a demographic in their 40s. It differentiates by outcome and methodology, and it tackles a known pain point with a clear promise and without them having to make any sacrifices. Amazing. Like literally, bang, that is Onlyness. So to position yourself as the only and obvious choice, you don't need a huge audience to do this. What you do need is a really sharp edge. And it's better to be the only choice for a few people than a forgettable option for many. So here's a tip on this. Use language your dream clients already say. Don't try and invent new terms to sound smart. Positioning is more so about resonance, not about sophistication or fancy words. And here's why. Because if you confuse with your messaging, you're going to lose. It's just like your positioning. If your positioning is vague or unclear, you're going to lose. Which brings me to point number 3. But before I do, if you're struggling with messaging or getting clarity in your messaging, go and binge episode 121. How to write a brand message that attracts high-paying clients. It pairs perfectly with what I'm talking about here. Okay, so back to point number 3. Confused buyers don't buy, and vague brands really don't scale. If you can't explain what you do and who it's for in one sentence, you're not positioned. I'm so sorry to say this, you're invisible. So here's the 10-minute clarity test. Ask yourself, who is this for? What urgent problem do they have? What transformation do they get? And what makes me the only choice? And now, once you've answered all of those questions, tease it, play with it, make it so that you can say it in 15 words or less, out loud. And if it sounds like soup, start again. So many people get stuck and hung up on this. They try to fit in way too much. But in adding so much, actually what they end up doing is confusing their customers. And the most amazing copywriters I've worked with in the story brand world, we talk about this all of the time. The best copywriting hack is actually to cut what you said by at least 30%. So no matter what you write, cut it by 30%. Because when you cut it back, it's going to make you sound so much clearer. Because like I say, so many people try to pack in too much or sound super smart, but actually they just end up confusing their customers. You could use your onlyness statement here, but ideally you'll have a few different versions of how you explain what you do. And in none of those versions should you ever start with what you do, like the brand strategist or the accountant. Start with what your client feels. So for example, people don't buy coaching. They buy relief from a particular thing. They buy power where they felt powerless. They buy permission where they felt where they felt previously that they needed to ask for it, right? They're looking for transformation. So some versions, when you go and write this, they're going to be longer than 15 words, you'll be glad to hear. So make sure to go and check out episode 121, How to Write a Brand Message That Attracts High-Paying Clients. This is genuinely a perfect next listen to deepen your understanding of what I've covered here today. And be sure to follow the show wherever you're listening in today, because there's an upcoming shorty episode and all the different versions of the stories you should have in your kitty to explain what you do no matter what situation you're in. And as an extra little tool to help you with your positioning, go and download the free brand strategy checklist from www.deirdremartin.ie/brand strategy checklist. It'll help you take more action on the things that will make you unique in your business and identify perhaps what you're missing. Okay, let's recap. Positioning is a strategic decision, not a label. Your difference is your edge, so lean into it. And clarity creates demand. Complexity absolutely smothers it. So here's your challenge. Take 10 minutes today and do the clarity test. If your dream clients wouldn't see you as their only choice, you've got a little bit of work to do. Use the free brand strategy checklist to guide you step by step from www.deirdremartin.ie/checklist. And oh my gosh, if this episode helped, please share it with a fellow coach, consultant, or service provider who you feel needs to hear it. But if you loved it, please rate, review, and follow the podcast. That's how we reach more people like you. Here's to being uncopyable. And until next time, keep mastering your business.